And like we pointed out, we have to talk about, you know, this matter of the coalition. It's been generating reactions, and so we'll be focusing on that. And then we're also going to look at the matter of the 16 years of age for anyone who is to get into the universities, the controversy around it, and what people are saying. We'll be speaking on that, as well as matters on the papers this morning and also on stories that are trending now. But let's begin with this story where the Vice President Kashim Shettima has raised concern over the impact of malnutrition in Nigerian children. He says malnutrition deprives more than 40% of children under 5 of their physical and cognitive potential, and so needs to be attended to. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
This National Summit on Nutrition and Food Security is part of events lined up to commemorate this year's National Assembly Open Week. The Speaker, House of Representatives, who was represented, says malnutrition costs Nigeria an estimated $56 billion annually, with post-harvest losses adding another $2 billion.
This summit must therefore galvanize us to forge sustainable, evidence-based solutions that alleviate their suffering and secure a healthier future for all.
Vice President Kashim Shettima is represented. The Vice President highlights government's renewed commitment through the Nutrition 774 initiative, a grassroots-focused program aimed at addressing nutrition challenges in underserved communities.
The occasion that brings us here today is not celebration. It is a reminder of the burden that we bear, a malnutrition crisis that continues to rob nearly 40% of Nigerian children under 5 of their physical and cognitive potential.
On day 2 of the conference, experts share thoughts on varying issues geared towards achieving food sufficiency and high-grade nutrition for the populace, particularly children. Chairman of the Committee on Nutrition and Food Security says malnutrition costs Nigeria an average of $1.5 billion every year. Insists insecurity, which keeps farmers away from their land and contributes to food scarcity, must be tackled headlong.
First thing government needs to do, and of course I know that efforts are also being put in place, is to make sure that Nigeria is safe, particularly including but not limited to where we know that the food that we eat in this country are produced.
Nigeria ranks second on Global Index of Malnutrition and the first in Africa, as government pushes for a unified national voice and approach to addressing nutrition challenges effectively.
The Nutrition 774 initiative, it's actually a framework looking to pull together all key actors to strengthen multi-sectoral coordination to improve finance.
The conference is organized to provide solutions to the damaging effects of malnutrition and lack of adequate food on Nigerians, particularly children, in the face of unending security challenges. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, according to the report, Nigeria ranks second globally and the first in Africa when we're talking about malnutrition. And it's a sad commentary when we're looking at this matter that children are suffering stunted growth as a result of this. Children under 5 are the ones that are feeling the pinch the most. And it is reported that approximately 2 million children in Nigeria suffer from severe acute malnutrition, and only a small fraction receive adequate treatment. And it is good that we are beaming our searchlight on this matter right now to addressing it as quickly as possible. But we must address the underlying issues of the matter as against treating the symptoms. We already know, like one of the respondents said, matters of insecurity is a major challenge. Poverty is also a major challenge. And then every other issues around these root causes have to be addressed.
For me, the government has these things to do, and I line them up in my scale of preference. First of all, take care of security, you know. After security, take care of our healthcare system. And after that, you create many jobs first, and then you pursue our healthcare system and make it top-notch. I would want to hear stories that, like, Nigeria is ranking first or second in Africa on ease of doing business, not for things like this.
Absolutely.
You know, it is very degrading and demeaning that a country that is as big and as rich but as Nigeria in human resources, in minerals, in cash, is ranked first in Africa when it comes to malnutrition of children. During the Civil War, that was the biggest weapon against the children, especially of Biafra. There was, what was it called? Kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor was everywhere. You see little children with bloated tummies moving around.
Were eating lizards.
They were eating all sorts of things. All sorts. And we are not at war right now. And look at the statistics. It's quite...
it's mind-boggling,
it's
really.
sad.
Ibrahim, this issue, talking about children and our future, and here we are talking about the fact that they are not even having enough to eat. So how can they even think when you're talking about their cognitive abilities and all of that? They are unable to do as much, all because of malnutrition, lack of access to quality, balanced diet, and also all of the other issues we've mentioned, poverty and all of it. If we are to tackle it from the root, Etoma has mentioned addressing insecurity, which the government has been making effort on, but it's similarly we are not getting as much done regarding that because of the results we are getting when you look at the numbers. What do you think is missing?
Absolutely. You actually gave a statistic, according to UNICEF, which is 2 million. It's quite startling to have that number of people, facing malnutrition. And it goes to show that there is what is exactly the kind of policy framework that we're bringing on the board to ensure that children have access to food. And that goes to the local government areas, goes to the governors, goes to local councils. What exactly are they doing to help the government? Because this 774 initiative is very good. We are very good at bringing up policies, but implementation is another challenge. You've mentioned the issue of insecurity, which we know is ravaging. What about places where there are no insecurity? The hardship, they following the removal of fuel subsidy, the economic constraint that people are having is also there, which is affecting even people who could feed 3 square. I mean, is it 3 square meal?
Not a square.
I keep asking myself that
3 is no longer square. Because for them to have arrived at 3 square meal, then they try to put an imaginary angle to make it 4. So it's not there. So if you're able to take 4, then let's just say square. But now some people are even finding it very difficult to feed. And you said we are not even in a war situation.
Yeah.
We are not. If we follow what is happening on the global scale, especially in Palestine, Israeli-Palestinian genocide, we see that they are using hunger as a weapon of, as a tool of war, which is against international humanitarian law. So we are not in that state. How come we are now having this number of people who are not being fed? So the government should do a lot of things. Multi-sectoral approach should be adopted, so much so that whenever the federal government is bringing up initiative, such as the school feeding program, what are states doing? We know Kaduna and one state, collaborated in this and they're doing it, but how much are we doing? How much have we done to ensure that we reduce this number and we are not ranking second?
Yeah, the school feeding program was suspended at some point because of so many issues that happened behind the scene. But I think that the bulk of the work stops at the table of state governments and then local governments as well, stepping in to do the needful for the people. I think that now that states are getting more allocation, they need to look into the areas of access to food and all of it. Lagos State is doing something, ensuring that people can access quality food. Let other states adopt perhaps that template and see how it works.